Hi, good afternoon on this wet and not so windy actually Monday afternoon in Kent. I hope maybe the sky is blue and the sun is shining where you are. So I'm Caroline from Yoga Nut. I'm a yoga teacher and functional movement teacher and a Jing method advanced clinical massage therapist. So I've spent my morning so far assessing clients before their massage therapy treatment, so looking at their range of movement and discussing pain symptoms. And I've also been writing a blog that will be out shortly on acute pain. So I have spent my morning rooted to my seat, and I can really feel kind of tension in my bum, my hips and my lower back. So I kind of thought, for my benefit and hopefully for your benefit, that we're going to mobilise our body a little bit. So we're going to start with squats, just to activate the glutes and just kind of bring that movement into our body. So I'm going to scoot back a little bit. Now you've got to be a little bit cautious if you're on a chair with wheels. So first of all, actually, what I want you to do is just ground through the feet. So if the feet aren't in contact with the earth, then just scoot forwards on your seat a little bit. Place the feet down. So really feel like you're being earthed. And then notice where your spine is. So are you slouching back? Or because we're grounding through the base of the posture, have you noticed that you've opened through your chest? So maybe the lower back or the back muscles have pushed you forward, so you're in a slightly extended position. I want you somewhere between the two. So a nice long neutral spine, grounded in the feet, upward lift through the crown of the head. So feet are hip width apart, so if you're on a hard chair like me, you can probably feel your sit bones. And this is where the hamstring muscles that are on the back of your thighs attach to. So they can be a little bit ouchy, especially if you're tight there like I am. So your heels, I want them to be not under the sit bones, but in line with the sit bones. To come into a squat, what we typically do is we press up through the feet. I'll just scoot back a little bit. And you can see that the shoulders move in front of the toes. So that's a real functional movement. Now what happens in the squat is we come up but the knees knock in. So we want to try and keep the knees hip width apart. So there's a bit of an outward spiralling from the thighs. And you can see that my spine's nice and neutral. I've not done this. I've not stuck the butt out. Everything's nice and long. Now we're going to come back to our chair seat because we're going to lower the bottom down so it just kisses the chair seat, and then you're going to come up, and as you come up, pubic bone to the front of the pelvis tucks under and you squeeze the butt. Then you release the butt muscles, find that chair seat, little kiss of the butt on the chair seat, come up and squeeze. So do this a few times, thinking about the knees staying forwards, not knocking in, inner thighs rolling out. Now notice, I'm just going to come around to face you, that as you come up and the pubic bone tucks under and the glutes contract, can you feel that tension into the front of the belly? So the front of the belly will be being pulled backwards, not by you bracing, but by that glute contraction and the pelvic floor lifting up. So just check what's happening with your breath. It's really likely, for sure, that the respiratory rate of the breath has quickened, and are you now breathing through your mouth? Try and close the mouth so that the breath still comes through your nose. Now the next time you're finding that chair seat, that little kiss, as long as it's not on wheels and hasn't scooted back, you can find it and come to rest. Now, obviously I've been moving and talking, so I can really feel my heart rate beating. So what I'd like you to do, notice where your breath is. it's likely it's going to be high, and it's likely that you're breathing out through the mouth. Close the mouth. We want to encourage the breath to be nice and gentle through the nose. Really gentle, and you're directing it down to the lower ribs. We're aiming for a gentle, light breath and encouraging this outward expansion of the side of the rib cage. Now, what that isn't is because that will just keep the rate and the breath up in the chest. So just take a little bit of time to settle back after those moving squats. The breath gentle through the nose, directing down to the lower ribs. And hopefully by now you would have feel that the breath has settled, that there still be some tingly sensation in the front of the thighs and the glutes. It's a really good thing to do. Every time, maybe when you get up from your chair to make a cup of tea, do some moving squats, do 10 or 20, that would be great. But remember, breathe through the nose, mouth closed. So when we sit, I catch myself a lot of the time cross legs, everything's closed, and I'm a bit rounded. So I thought we could open in the hips. So you're still grounded on your feet, but bring the legs together. And I'm going to start with my dodgy leg, so that's my right hip. It really is very, very stuck. So you're going to bring the knee up and just flex through. So press the ball of the foot away just a little bit, and you're going to cross the ankle over the thigh. So you want the ankle, I'll scoot back so you can see, you want the ankle overhanging the thigh. Now, don't put too much tension to the top of the ankle. You can keep the ankle soft, but if you get pain in your knee, then again, press through the ball of the foot. So you can see how high my knee is. My right hip is really closed. So a static stretch is sometimes all that you need. So static stretch, at least 30 seconds. But we're going to take this into a Pnf stretch. Now, if I can get the words out of my mouth correctly, it's proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. I did it. Now, what that is it's a real trick to the body. So in this outward rotation of the hips, you're stretching through the inner thigh. And with that stretch, if you place your hand to the inner thigh and just really gently press that inner thigh or the inside of the knee up into the hand, you meet the pressure, and we'll hold for about 10 seconds, so probably another 3, 2, 1, and then release, and then that leg should open a bit more. Now don't soften, keep that stretch, you're not pressing down with the hand, and you can press up again, and count for about 10 seconds while I waffle on a little bit longer. So what we're doing is just tricking the body. The body's going, oh my goodness, there is tension going on in my inner thighs and inner hip. I really need to relax. So when you let go of that pressure, relaxation happens and you get increased range within that hip joint. So we'll do that one more time. You're gently pressing the knee up. So it's really subtle pressure. There's not much movement at all going on within that hip joint. And we hold for about 10 seconds. So you're going to release that pressure now and allow that knee to open out. So you stay in that stretch. You'll probably feel the outer hip, the buttock working. And you've got more of a stretch now to the inner thigh. So just hold that static stretch. Always at least 15 seconds, if you can, 30 seconds, which is why sometimes, static stretches are all that we need. It gives the body time to yield and lengthen. So let's release that. I can feel that in my outer hip. Notice the difference between the two sides. So my goodness, my right hip feels much more alert, like the leg feels, like alive. There's not much feeling to the left hip yet. So bring the knee up. Take hold of the foot, press the ball of the foot, not away aggressively, just softly, keep softness in the toes, and you cross that ankle, let the ankle overhang over that thigh. And again, nice static stretch. So we hold this stretch. This is my easier side, so it feels way easier for me. It's quite nice. I can feel the contraction to the outer hip, opening into the inner thigh. So to take this from your static stretch into that Pnf stretch, hand rests to the inner knee or inner thigh. And if you were to press up 10 out of 10, you'd do this. It would just come all the way up to the center. So you're not, it's about a 2 or 3 out of 10. It's a subtle pressing up. So that inner knee thigh presses subtly, gently up to the hand for about 10 seconds. Maybe wait for the end of your next exhalation and then you release. And you can see there's much more give in my left hip. I'm less stuck. Now don't come out of that stretch though. Hand to inner knee. We do this about 3 times in total. You can always do more, of course. Press up, you're not doing any harm. We're basically tricking the muscles. The inner thigh and groin are now tensioning and they're sending messages to the brain, and the brain is going, oh my goodness, too much tension, too much tension. So when you release, there's a lengthening to more of a lengthening, increased lengthening to the muscles of the inner thigh and groin. And this has a long-lasting effect. So we'll do that one more time, pressing up. Check how you're breathing, hopefully through your nose. And then you can release. And we're going to hold that static stretch. I'm not pressing down with my hand, just holding that lovely increased stretch. Some of you may have kind of stretched much more than me. You know, for me, it's probably a few millimeters. But just noticing that increased stretch, lovely. Static hold, 50 to 30 seconds. And then you're going to release and notice how the hips feel. So we're going to take the legs out nice and wide. Don't get cramp in your butt though at all. We tend to sit very narrow. So this is a good way to sit with the feet apart. Again, we don't want to slouch. We want to be upright but not rigid. Most of us are forwards in space. So let's open the chest and contract the upper back muscles. So keep the shoulders heavy and just on your regular exhalation, just float the arms up, thinking about the arm bones staying nice and heavy in the shoulder joints. Bring the arms out to the sides like a T and then bring them behind you. Interlink the hands, lovely. Now what will happen is, as you draw the shoulder blades towards one another, the chin will stick forwards. So draw the chin back to the front of the throat, and it's probably that your belly's stuck forwards as well. So pubic bone, front of the pubic bone, tuck it under slightly so that we can again bring the lower back to more of a neutral position. And then just when you're ready to, you're going to come into a forward fold. And you can just kind of hang there. You can let the head hang. I'm going to bring myself up, but you stay there. So just let the head hang. Now the arms aren't passive. Really feel as though I'm coming around and I'm placing my hand into your cupped hands and I'm just gently lifting the arms up. You'll feel that the shoulder blades will draw closer towards one another. It gives you a lovely stretch to the pec muscles of the chest, but also into the upper arms, you know, these deltoid muscles that we kind of forget about quite a lot. We always focus on the bicep muscles, and actually we forget about the triceps quite a lot as well. So you're just letting the breath flow, checking that the breath is through your nose. And then with that upward lift of the hands, you're going to feel as though you're being drawn up, and that will bring you back up to the center. You're probably going to be a little bit rosy in your cheeks, so just let the blood pressure drop. It happens really quickly. Gravity brings everything down like that, which is why we need to be a bit more consciously be a bit more upright. So let's come into the side body. So you can actually keep the legs nicely wide open, or you can bring them more to that more neutral position. So again, think about the right arm being heavy by the side of the body. Turn the palm up, just float the arm up. Now what will happen is the shoulder will want to lift. Maybe that ear, right ear, will want to come down to the shoulder. So think about, as you raise up, keep length to the side of the neck, keep that arm bone dropping down into the shoulder. So you're not now doing this at all. It's really heavy. You can straighten through the elbow, but for me, if I straighten through the elbow, then I do lift my shoulder up. So I keep softness in my elbow. Come over into a side stretch, so you're opening through right side of body. Now, take hold of the right wrist, and don't yank yourself up like that sharply. Encourage the hand off of that forearm bone. So you're gently tractioning. You're gently tractioning the wrist, and you're gently lifting up. So it feels a bit like a hang. It's not that, it's not stiff. The breath is easy and gentle through the nose. And the breath is really, really light, but it might be that you've got more focus to the lower ribs so that you get that soft flaring. It's not that, it's really gentle, and we aim for it to be diaphragmatic. So that gentle, slow breath through the nose means that the diaphragm moves more functionally. And then allow that arm to float down to the side to bring you up to the centre. Floating that left arm up. Come into a side stretch. If the arm comes up, drop the arm bone down. Softness to elbow joint. Floppiness to hand, take hold of the wrist, traction the wrist off of the forearm, keep both shoulders relaxed, and just draw the arm up really subtly. Take the breath to the side of the body. Lovely. Notice what the lower back's doing. I've just stuck my bum out. So think pubic bone tucking under, just really softly. Breath nice, nice and easy. Nice, nice and easy. Lovely. Again, static stretch, 30 seconds. More if you want, but at least give yourself 30 seconds so that the tissues of the body get lovely and nourished. And then allow that left arm to come down, and that weight of that arm will bring you back up to centre. So you're going to sidle over to one side of your chair, and I'll just come sideways on. When we're sitting for a long time, our hip flexors get really tight, so we're going to put a stretch in. So you're going to come onto the top of the foot and slide that leg back. Now what will happen is the back will arch, chest will move forwards. Pubic bone tuck slightly under. We want to encourage an opening and a stretch to the front of the abdomen and into the front of the thigh. So have that upward lift, check where the head is in space. Our body likes to be forwards in space. Tuck the front of the chin, not the front of the chin, tuck the chin in towards the front of the throat. Just subtly, no triple chins. Might get a double by doing this, but a subtle drawing back. It is so nice for my hips. Lovely. Static stretch, 30 seconds. I'll face forward, so you're going to come over to the other side. Make sure that leg is grounded to the floor. Top of the foot comes down, much easier on a wooden floor like I've got. If you're using a carpet, you might burn the top of your foot, so try and avoid doing that. Now, you'll be tipped forwards. Pubic bone tucks under. Just adjust. Lovely. Pubic bone tucks under to get that opening. So you can see I'm over to one side actually. Bring yourself more upright. So you've got even length to the size of the body. Upward lift. Is the head poking forwards? Draw the chin back. Very nice. My right side is my tighter side. So stretching my left side a lot nicer. Again, just keep that lower back open. Don't weigh yourself all the way over. Lovely, lovely. And then come back onto your chair. So We've kind of flexed forward, we've opened up through the sides of the body into the hip flexors. We activated the glutes to start with in that moving squat. Now we're just going to look at the head and do a bit of an opening to the front of the body. So like I said, a lot of the time we hang our head forwards, even though I'm exaggerating this. So you bring, I've said this a few times, you bring the chin back towards the throat. Now a great way of feeling that is to float the arms up by the side of the body, cross over, take hold of your elbows. Now drop the shoulders down and bring the head so that it's just onto the back of the forearms. It might just be a little bit of contact. So what I'd like you to do is just gently press the head back into the hands. You'll feel the movement of that chin moving back towards the throat. Relax the shoulders. Your butt may have stuck out, so tuck the pubic bone under. Come back into your breath, so the breath is gentle, easy through the nose. As you breathe in, you're still directing the breath down to the belly. You're going to lift the heart up. And then as you breathe out, you're going to soften. So really feel as though you've got like a string, or you could be really creative and be like a golden thread or something to the breastbone, the sternum. It lifts you up and then you soften. So you can ground down through the feet a little bit, but just try and get this opening into the chest. So don't allow the bum to stick out too much. Keep that little tuck in the pubic bone and then soften. Now release the arms, little V. Lift the heart up, soften on the exhale, and then cross the arms in the other direction. So this will feel less comfortable, but you just want the back of the head in contact with the arms. Notice that chin in space, draw the chin back towards the throat. So there's a little bit of pressure back of the head. As soon as I do that, I arch my lower back. So tuck pubic bone under, lovely. And then you're going to lift the heart up as you breathe in through your nose. And the exhale, just feel the body responding. It kind of falls down and forwards. The inhale, much more active. And the exhalation is the breath of relaxation. The parasympathetic nervous system is in charge of the exhalation. So it brings you down. Whereas the sympathetic nervous system is in charge of the inhalation and it lifts you up. So one's activating and one's deactivating. So enjoy that softening on the exhalation. Lovely. Okay. So we're going to do one more. We're going to put that lovely side stretch in with the lunge position. So I'll scoot back. You can see me. You're going to come off to the side of your chair. Top of the foot slides away. Butt will stick out, tuck the pubic bone under. So the grounded foot, that same side arm is going to come up and over. Take hold of the wrist and gently draw the body into a side stretch. And it's as though you're gently encouraging the wrist off of the arm bone. Really subtle. So you'll get this lovely stretch through the front of the hips, front of the thigh, and then into the side body. Lovely. Where's the chin in space? Is it forwards? Can you bring it back? Brilliant. Allow that raised arm to come down, which brings you back up to the centre. And we'll do that. This is our last move. You're going to come over to the side of your chair. Top of the foot to the floor, slide it back. Everything will move forwards. Settle yourself in a more upright position. Pubic bone tucks under to open up through the lower back. So same side of this front leg, that arm floats up. Take hold of the wrist. You're tractioning yourself over into a side stretch. So you're gently encouraging the wrist, so the hand, off of the arm bone. Breath to the lower ribs. Pubic bone tucking under to increase the stretch to the front of the hips and the front of the thigh. Lovely. Allow that raised arm to bring you back up and then come out of that lunge. I'll scoot forwards a little bit. Before I close this practice for you, take your attention back to your posture. Feet on the floor, grounded. Evenly place weight on the feet. Are you rounded in the lower back? Is the belly protruding forwards so the back is extended? Find that middle ground. Shoulders hang heavy. If the head is forward, draw the chin a little back. If you know you do this with the arms rolling in, bring the arms back just a little more gently, and instead of sitting with the palms on the lap like that, turn the palms up. So you've got more of that external rotation going on in the arm bones. Just check in with your breath. Breath through the nose only. Jaw relaxed, tongue to the top palate. Breath is light, gentle, and you direct it gently, softly down. So it's as though that there's no breathing going on at all. It's quiet, soft, and you feel at ease. So I hope you can carry that sense of opening and quiet breath work with you forwards into the day and into the rest of the week. If you have any questions, I'll hold on for a moment. Do pop them in, any questions or comments. I'll do my best to answer them. This can always be replayed, so it'll be posted on Instagram, YouTube and social media. Just look under Yoga Nut and you should see me. And I hope you have very much enjoyed that, and I'll see you at 12 o'clock next Monday. My clinic is open for advanced clinical massage, and I am still online on a Wednesday and Thursday evening teaching yoga and functional movement. So do join me. Take care, everybody. I'm signing off. Bye-bye.